Before this video begins, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you to this channel's sponsorship donators and Patreons, these being Tribal Typhoon, Skyhawkings, Dante Demonic, and Negus. Thank you guys, without your support this would not have been possible. Nick! Take your seat! Members of the Klingon Empire and its allies. Today I have the great honor of discussing and taking a detailed look at the newest support carrier of our fleets, the Vo'devwl. May she bring glory to your house. We will be first discussing possible alternate space frames within customization for those who'd like to champion a different look. After that, we'll take a detailed look at her actual design and schematics out there in the old space, so to speak. And once we are done, we will have a minor look at the Vanity shields. Unfortunately, my counterpart in the Federation seems to have a lot more of these than I do. I do apologize, but I'm certain that some highly creditable individuals within the Klingon Defense Force have also taken a look at this ship's Vanity shields, and if you ask them nicely, their links are below. They may be willing to show you. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce this monstrosity's customizations. The Vo'devwl is a mighty fine looking ship, and considering it follows the lineage of much older generation ships, the Volkuv and the Vo'devwl, we have definitely gotten quite lucky with this ship's space design. I mean, I have one distinctive area that I don't like about it, but thanks to customization options, there's nothing stopping you from changing that. It is also a distinctive thing to note that she is much larger. Customization wise, we have, of course, the Klingon bridges in question. Personally, I prefer the Kahless bridge, but I know some of you prefer Sompak for a more modest appearance, and I can respect that. We also have varying window types, including the Vo'devwl's own windows, the Katingas, which personally I think look nicer, the Type 2s and Type 1s. I know, Type 1 and 2 seem like basically slightly lighter versions of the Vo'devwl and Katinga, but what can you do? To be fair, I think that's why I like the Katingas, because it's Type 1 but darker. Hiss. We also have a varying list of, well, simply wonderful hulls. I mean, the Vo'devwl's hull is very fine. Definitely a credit to any ship flying there. But then you have the Vorcha, and if you are not a fan of the Vorcha hull, I don't know if we can be friends. Okay, I jest, but I might have to have a battle fight with you later. The Veteran hull is, well, to each their own tastes. Type 4 is available if you like your black and red aesthetic, you know I do. Type 3, 2 and 1 can kind of get a pass, though looking a bit aged at this point. Type 0? Well, some people like a mess. But then we get to the nice ones. Oh, I've got to say I love these. TOS D7 is actually a very nice looking hull for this ship. All things considering. But then you have the Katinga Beta, which is my personal favourite on this ship. The Katinga Alpha, which gives that slightly lighter green to it, though it does kind of feel a little bit Romulan too. Yeah, these last three I just kind of do feel a little out of place. Discovery D7, which thankfully is not like the Discovery hull. Oh Lord have mercy on that one. And finally, the Bird of Prey. Personally, if you're going for the Bird of Prey one, well, you like your army paint. I'll give you that. The customization doesn't stop there though, since you can customize the whole forward hull, neck, pylons and nacelles of this ship to give yourself a drastically different look. My personal aesthetic is actually very simple. I prefer to fly with this. It's just the way I think this ship looks at its best. And yes, that does give you a hint of where things are going in a moment. Well, if you're not a fan of this, you can always say, I don't know, flip it around a little bit. I can't say it all fits in perfectly together. Some of it wants to work, some of it looks a little bit weird. I have seen someone flying this. Someone likes this look. Someone is flying this out there. Okay, sorry, they were flying this, but to each their own. Everyone's got their tastes. So let's actually take a look at how the ship is designed. So, where the Federation captain may like to use the Dyson Sphere, I think I'm going to learn from the Augment Dictator. So, thanks for the lesson, Oggy. Let's take a look at it here in a nebula. What can I say? I'm Romulan. What do you expect from me? Now, I'm not actually sure where to begin on this ship design-wise. There is a lot, and I really do mean a lot, I can pick on with this ship to talk about. Let's start off with the pets. First of all, okay, we're launching them all. Well, they at least launched. Wow, actually no, they launched straight out the hangars, and the frigate went straight to cloak. So I'm impressed with that. Good to see. Excellent. Well, you know what? That gives me hope. They launched straight out of the hangars, which is more than can be said for the other ships. And oh, getting a good look on these ships will be difficult. Maybe if I'm nice, I might show these off with It is safe to say that we've seen these ships before. The fighter wings you can fly as shuttlecraft for any KDF captain or KDF allied. And, well, the birds of prey that are currently cloaked, they also actually belong to, I think, a tier 6 variant of the bird of prey. I'm not 100%. But, like, it's nice to see that we have these options. And, well, let's be fair, it means that you can fly this ship. And if you want to keep the role playing up, flying this ship, you can actually decide that actually this mission will be easier if I did it with a bird of prey and fly a bird of prey. You technically haven't changed ship. You're just flying one of its wingmen. I'm just saying it's a potential option. It's there. Excuse me. So, out of the hangars, so let's actually comment on those hangars. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. What was I saying? Oh, right. Those birds of prey could not possibly launch from this hangar bay. Now, I'm pretty damn sure we're looking at the T6 core birds of prey. I'm not 100%. But, with all this being noted, if we think of the Romulan hangars, they are relatively deep, but much like these, they're relatively deep, but also excessively long. They're also wide enough that they could maybe be launching the Malums. That Romulan ship is quite evidently large. You've then got the Federation one. Well, that's definitely only launching the fighters. There's no way those Kataran escorts are coming out of its hangars. But then again, also, they're quite... well, they're not as deep, but they're quite deep, and hello, my birds. And they're also quite powerful. Something to take note of, considering when we look at how deep this one is, that's going back in there to around about this grey plate here, and maybe a little bit further back. If you take the opposite side, and it's a rear hangar, that also goes in quite deep. Almost as far as the impulse engine, which then leaves that with very little space, except paying note that hole goes quite deep to here. So it's possible to say that anything that goes in through the top base may not necessarily be docked at the top. They may be lowered down and then shoved towards the back and the lower section. This would actually grant a huge amount of storage space for fighters, and it could be that they simply run two launch methods. You have the landing platform, which could be the upper section, and the rapid deployment, which is the lower section. The only question I have also got is, why the hell is that? That must be runabouts only. Not runabouts, little shuttlecrafts only, because that's too small to be launching fighters, I'm sure of it. I mean, have you seen these bad boys? They're huge! Away from the hangars, which are probably one of my favourite features, because let's just be fair, look at the way that hangar merges with the hull. It's just brilliant. Let's go right to the main part of the hull, which is brilliant. First of all, you have this reinforced structure at the top here, which has basically reinforced barring across it, and your traditional mission pod styling to the back of the ship, with your traditional bird of prey foils also positioned either side of the mission pod. That is just a simple thank you for restoring some of the traditional elements of a Klingon vessel. It's also, I feel like it's great seeing that, purely because we haven't really seen that element implemented on battlecruisers of any kind. Thanks to my first, I'm going to be doing so much cutting with this video. Included in that main design, I like the fact that the actual primary impulse drive, much like birds of prey, is a large engine segment at the back there. Fudge, it's large. Literally, of all these support vessels, there is one thing that I must say, and that is the Klingon variant is definitely the fastest. In universe canon, it would have to be the fastest. These goddamn impulse drives, damn! It then has a reinforced secondary impulse drive at the bottom there, which is a great little addition. And then I'm going to assume steering impulse drives on either wing point to help the ship turn. Because although this one isn't very large, I mean, we're probably along the same size realms of the Kataran Aspero, this is still a bit lumbersome and of great mass, so it will be difficult to turn. back to the mission pod in question, and has anyone noticed it yet? Because I love it yet hate it. For some reason, all these support carriers have these extended epoxy bridges. I mean, yeah, technically the Klingon bridge will be here at the front. By standard Klingon design, I believe it's normally here in the face of the ship. But that looks like a bridge to me, and if that... Do you know what? I'm just going to go with... That's the Klingon command bridge for the hangars. So, like I've said with all other ships, there's secondary bridges involved. And that's the secondary bridge that in this case commands both hangars. And is basically charged of whatever they're doing. The only problem with it is, it's on a very... Well, okay, the ship's quite large, so it's not really that thin. But it's on a very thin, very tall pylon. Can anyone just appreciate how good this shot is right now? Can we? Is that okay? God damn these fires. Yes, well, what was I saying? That bridge is on a tall neck, stood on its own. Anyone want to say Rafa Khan? Let's just focus on that neck. Is a distinctive weak point, but at the same time, if you look at the way the ship is designed, that initial bridge module area, sorry, a mission pod area, mission module, actually forms like a dome up in front of it. It's not quite as tall as it, but it wouldn't take much for that to be forming a special form of force field or shield around it in a mission, in the stance of a mission. So I could see it being protected by that. Maybe some form of deflector shielding. Towards the front of the bridge now, because we're going to go down the neck. And I really do want to bring up just that bit of void spacing that's going on with the neck. This is a structural design we've seen on Birds of Prey, Katinga, Varcha. Almost every ship in the Evolution has this strong neck going forwards, and as the ship progresses inside, this neck builds up in bulk, and in some cases this neck will have this secondary run, which is then comes with some kind of reinforcement, mostly there to prevent, once again, a Rafa Khan situation, cutting the neck in half. Or should we say Star Trek Beyond, since that's probably the better example, since that was an actual neck cut in half. With all this being said, I like the way it's been done on this ship. It comes with these, what I'm going to presume is some kind of latching module along the side here. Maybe for hatch breakers or doors. And then you have this secondary one, which note they're not connected to each other, so if you're going through the first lot of decks, you can't actually get down to the bottom decks from these ones, so you'd have to get to one end of the neck or the other before you could do that, unless there's a turbo lift shaft, which could literally be running through those segments that we're seeing there. I mean, they are quite large, but I do like the design, despite the fact that there seems to be an impractical element to it. Moving forwards, and we get to the first thing that I really raised a question on. What could that possibly be? These little circles, they're either side, and the first thing that comes to my mind, most people probably will completely disagree with them possibly being, and I honestly don't blame you, but in my head, they're torpedo launchers. The only other thing I could possibly see them being is the actual mounting dock points for the birds of prey. My only issue with that being, well, that would put them directly in front of the hangars, which would mean the birds of prey have to launch faster or earlier than the fighters coming out of the hangars, unless they eject all from the rear. Not necessarily a good design element, but it's plausible, I would say. Pardon me. Now then, continuing forwards. Are you fighters okay? Are you feeling alright? Is everything quite okay with you? Would you like a little help? Forgive my autism, but those fighters are highly distracting. Please return. Be highly appreciative. The front of the ship. Now, I've noticed a lot of people treat this like the photogenic point. This is the photo shot. I can see it, but I can't explain why I can see it. I like the way it looks. I think I like the fact that there's quite clearly high power beam emitters either side of the windows here, which are quite funny. Klingons get to stand there and go, "Look at our disruptors fire!" While you've also definitely very clearly got some form of deflector system working at the top here. I'm gonna have to say this is 100% a deflector system, as much as I'm also inclined to call them torpedoes, because are you telling me this tiny deflector down here can do everything this ship needs deflector wise? Is that really what you're telling me right now? That this deflector does it all? I mean, it's possible. The Klingon, as much as we joke sometimes that the Klingons aren't that advanced, I'm sorry KDF, but some of us Romulans think that. I have to say right now that the Klingons are highly advanced. I mean, come on. Respect their weapons technology. It's possible that that is a high-powered deflector kept on a minimal size, and I could live with it. What I do really like about this face, though, of the ship is the fact that it's T-shaped. It's got two prominent features. It adapts the front of the ship in the way that the D7, the Katinga, the Vulture, and that was evolving. And it remembers to have that wide section at the top of whatever this forward bridge module is. But it doesn't forget the depth, and it actually utilizes both now in a way that balances them. You might say, how is it balanced? The top section is a lot thinner than the lower, but I think that's what makes it work. And then with these massive intakes either side, it just says to me that this ship has done a lot more regulated thinking than you'd standardly get from, say, Bird of Prey. Oh, I'm going to get some form of Klingon apparatus in my back, aren't I? Nah, they do it from the front. Klingons don't stab in the back. That's a Cardassian move. There's just one final thing I want to state here, and that is mostly to ask you guys the question, because I'm really not sure. Mostly because I know what technically should be the bridge, and that would be this dome at the front here. And I could see it being this big as well on the ship, because Klingon! But it could also be this segment at the bottom here. And I could see that being the bridge as well, because it's not huge, but it's not small. And it's got plenty of grounds for the Klingons to be sat there going, "Ha ha! We are the masters of this quadrant, and you will bow to our power. We are warriors! Fight us! Or die. There is no alternative option." Okay, there is. Occasionally Klingons run away, but they're... Hey! I did say that. So, I'm gonna get killed by a Klingon. Let's move towards the back of the ship now. Once again, we've got all the way to the front. Let's move towards the back. And yes, I'm ignoring those fins, mostly because I don't know whether to compliment the way they work with the ship or to insult their impractical, just why are they there sort of situation. I have it under good authority that Emperor Kahless is not happy with me. I've got a nosebleed! Oh, this is why you don't insult Klingons. Their gods will come and wreak wrath upon you. Ah, okay. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Moving towards the back of the ship and ignoring the fins. Let's talk about these, well... Okay, we'll start with the struts. The struts are... I like what the struts were doing, but the insane bulk to the struts, I could only see them being reasonable if you're telling me, well, one, it's housed in the impulse drive, which means there's no hangar space going into there, and then that means they have to have some other side use. All I can assume is that what's going on here is that it is just a huge amount of impulse power goes through this section. The struts are large to compensate for that, and that's what helps the ship go wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh yeah. Because I definitely prefer the thinner struts. I like it when it looks like the Klingon ship has semi-wings. I mean, just look at my favourite Klingon ships and you'll quickly notice that. I do feel like they're a little bit too bulky. Then again, it does follow the lines of this ship. It is a rather bulky ship, to actually think of that. I did kind of ignore that, didn't I? Mind you, I also was kind of ignoring the fact that there is, underneath here, it's a little bit hard to see, but a very similar structural design on the supporting braces to what we're finding on the forward section of the neck. Speaking of supporting braces, does anyone else think that these nacelles look awesome? I mean, first of all, it pulls up on a design. I can't remember where I saw it before, but it pulls up on a sort of D. Is it D6, D5? Maybe even D4. That I thought was absolutely great with their little nacelle designs. It shows 2 levels of nacelle work. But I really like the way this looks. I mean, you've got the Basard collector across the top here, which is a great idea to me. And I believe the deuterium tanks, or whatever matter tanks they're using, is stored at the back here. This element of glow, to me, I'm not sure what that is actually doing. It might be field focusing of the field. Sorry about that. We have this cylinder section that I was just trying to talk about. I'm not sure what's going on with that glow element, but the only thing that comes to my brain is that is helping with the warp field stabilization. I mean, this is a massive ship, so a little bit of stabilization might be useful, especially since it's got to stabilize for launching those fighters too at warp, because any ship that can't launch its fighters at warp in the Star Trek universe is a sitting duck out of... Oh no, not really. As we kind of seen in the Star Trek universe, fighters tend to be obsolete. Makes me wonder why there's so many carriers, but okay. The other thing I really appreciate about these nacelles though, other than the final point, is the fact that you can see the warp coils quite clearly, and they have, well, line of sight. And it's done very, very subtly. The nacelles are just lowered just enough that the warp coils can see each other. And that is absolutely great with the design, because it holds the newer generation Klingon style, yet also maintained laws or rules of the warp fields that was set out in the more original Treks. I know that was quickly broken by TNG, but well, then again, even TNG, no, the Ferengi ship could still have line of sight. That's why the Decora has curves. Oh, to the main subject. There's one final thing I want to say, sort of style-wise, on this ship, before we get into the weapons. And that is, of all nacelles I've ever seen in Star Trek Online, of all of the nacelles, this nacelle design is in my top 3. I don't know if it's my number 1, but it's definitely 2 or 3, and it is just, I'm sorry, but it is a beautiful nacelle design, right alongside the goddamn Giorgio class's nacelles. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, weapons. You can't talk about a Klingon ship without talking about weapons. So, where the devil are they? We may have just found 2. So we have 4 possible disruptor strips. Okay. Oh, no, wait. Either side. We might have 8. Sorry. Yeah. 8 disruptor strips in total. Okay. Ah! Then on the wing right here, that makes 10. Underside. Surely there's some on the same area of the underside. These are not so easy to find. Ah, yes, there are some right here. A and B. So that makes 12. 12 disruptor strips. I'm actually playing this game right now because I got told not to look for them until I do the visual review. Just because I was also told that they are very hard to see. But at the same time, they're definitely there. Okay, so we got 12 at the back. So, does that mean that these 4 lights at the front there are definitely like torpedo launchers? Or could say that these, so, oh, we could just go with these yellows being different kinds of disruptor output, and I did say that these are potentially disruptor outputs either side here, so that would make 14, possibly 15, 16, 17, 18, and if you want to be nice, 19 and 20 by using these 2 circles that are on either point of the bridge. Using strips at the back and omnis at the front might be a thing. Oh, hang on. There's one there too. So that would be 21. 22. I mean, the circles could be the torpedo launchers, and it could be the strips, and the glowing strips at the front are disruptor strips, and just the front ones are very high output. I don't see any continuing stripping near the front. Wait, yes I do. It's no, I don't. I thought I did, but it's not quite that. Now we're saying about 22 weapons on this ship. Not bad. Not bad at all. And if we do go along with that glow strips, then technically those little lights there could possibly be M2. And that would just make the ship very heavily armed. But that would be Klingon. So that's fair. I don't care. You could put 50 bloody beam strips on this weapon. You could put 100 beam strips on this ship. And I'll just go, yeah, Klingon. Coupler. I've just realised there's actually more of those strippings at the front. It seems like the beam strip style is all focused on the main hull. So it is possible that all the weapons are around the main hull and that's it. With torpedo launchers at the front. I don't know. It could be a thing. But let's go away from that now. That's enough on design discussion. Let's take a look at the real toys, shall we? I can't say I've got a lot of Vanity shields I can show you, but I'm going to show you every single one that I can. So let's start off with the Alliance Vanity shield. Which, on this ship personally, is very much a no for me. Just no, it doesn't suit the ship at all. I mean, I know some of you might like it. That well and truly confirms those are strips, beam strips to me. Sorry. I'm also looking just in case I see any more of those things that could possibly be beam strips dotted around the ship. Do you know what? The one thing I will say though is the hangar looks absolutely amazing with this hull plate. I will give the hangars that. Okay, next up we have the Borg Vanity Shield. Now this one I do kind of expect to look good. The deflector looks brutally evil. This looks like something now the Borg could have created. Not really sure the lighting agrees with the back there, but okay. It's not a bad look for the ship. I will give the Borg Vanity Shield that. It looks okay on this ship. We have the Medical Vanity Shield. Which, quite frankly, I don't have any hope for. The hangars look really messed up with this one. Vo'devwl Vanity Shield. Oh, the Vo'devwl Vanity Shield just looks good on every blasted ship, I swear to God. It doesn't really have a bad ship, other than the Kataran. Then again, the Kataran has a lot of flat planing. Okay, the Vo'devwl doesn't really look bad on any ship that has a lot of detailed 3D planing. Or layered planing, should I say. Okay. Platinum Vanity Shield. Now this one I think looks great on all these support carriers that I've done a visual on so far. And you know, I can't say I don't like it. It's good that they counted out the red there. Very glad they did that. do apologise, I seem to not have the steadiest hand in the world today. Or throat for that matter, so hey ho. Ooh yeah. You know, okay, I'll give the platinum it. It looks absolutely good on this ship. I really do like it. Next, we go, well, to a different character. Next, in the Nadarf, we have the Aegis shields. Unlike the Federation, the Klingon Aegis shield looks nasty. In the good way. It's got red instead of this white and blue, and it just looks meaner. I like the Klingon Aegis version. The Klingon Aegis is just nice to look at, let's just be fair. I'm sorry, I forgot to take that off. Hang on a sec. Does anyone feel like part of the ship has gone to warp there and then failed to come out of warp? I mean, I know the ship looks like it's at warp at the moment, but hey ho. Why do you think I do a lot of my cinematics in this area? Doing it on purpose, I am. Well, let's say it's safe to say that I really appreciate this look. Mostly for the feeling you get from the ship. I think if we went with a black hole, Type 4, I think it is, and then put the Aegis on it, it'd look at its absolute best. Or maybe TOS. If we went with the TOS and put the Aegis on it, it'd look great as well. But I'm just gonna be appreciative of this one. Next up, oh, Emperor's Vanity Shield. We gotta have a look at this one. It's a good thing I've got Discovery on with someone as well. Now, Emperor's Vanity Shield isn't like Discovery for Klingons, so we get a actual straight up Emperor's look, and it is, well, I guess it's an okay look for this ship. Looks like the whole thing's on fire, but when has being on fire ever really been a problem, eh? Come on, it's fine. I've just decided that's my favourite view of the ship. Why is the low of... Actually, no. That's one of my favourite views. That's my other favourite view. This is a favourite view of the ship. This is a favourite view of the ship. This is just menacing, and I swear to God, get it out of my face because it intimidates me. Yeah. I am not sane today, I swear to God. Bajoran Defense Covariant Shield Array. Does not suit this ship. I'm going to just go, literally right now, just, it doesn't suit this ship. I bet it's still going to be red at the back. Yeah. I mean, red and orange works together, so not really a big issue, but... Hey, at least since all the energy strips are glowing, I can actually identify where they are now. Which also means this ship either has a lot less or a lot more. Yeah, no, Bajoran does not suit this ship, does it? Oh God, do I have to? Could I like discard it right now and just pretend I don't have it for Klingon? Or a Klingon, should I say? Okay. Waka waka. I feel like this is a grave offense to the Klingon Empire. This is coming from someone who is naturally offensive to the Klingon Empire. I swear to God. I'm going to get pulled into a 5v1 just for how often I've insulted the Klingon Empire. And it's going to be a whole bunch of birds of prey hammering the living death out of me. Jem'Hadar, Resilient Shield Array. Do you know what? Yeah, the red and purple don't really want to mess with that green so well, but it works. Sorry about my ticking. Do you know what? The whole thing actually works. Red and purple at the back's fine. I like it. Outwardly, currently my favourite look. Love it or hate it, it's the Reman prototype of variant shields. On the Romulan, I said they needed a bit more honeycomb pattern. On the Kataran, it was okay. On the Klingon, they need to calm it the duck down. Yes, they need to calm it down. No. I mean, the chrome looks nice, but also a Klingon ship doesn't feel like the sort of ship that should be all chrome. I hate to say it, but not my favourite look. Next. Oh wait. Assimilate. So now that I'm actually back, assimilated regenerative shield array. Sorry, I had to get the ship for Deep Space Nine to here without transwarp. Interesting. Well, did they even change anything? I mean, yeah, it did, but it's actually very subtle, and I like that. I think this worked really, really well on certain other plausible skins. I don't have any of the other pieces for that one, so let's now insult the Klingons and make it Ferengi. The Ferengi variant is, well, yeah. I mean, I know it would be to some people's tastes. Not mine. It feels like the Bajoran, just pinker. And as you know, I'm not a guy who shies away from the colour pink, but in this situation, it's not very fitting. Next up, we have the Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shield Array. Which, if this does not look good, I'm going to be highly disappointed. Deflecto. I mean, if you was ever unsure whether or not that was actually Deflector or not, you're 100% certain now, I hope. Impulse Array looks really good, actually. I like the combinations going on with the Impulse Array, actually, which is a bit of an odd one for me to say. And the hangers are distinctly nice looking in this design as well. Finally, last but not least, Discovery Vanity Shield. Now, unlike normal Discovery, this will not look like the USS Discovery's hull is on a Klingon ship. Very gothic in its feel. I simultaneously like and yet hate it, which makes zero sense, I'm sure. Seriously, what now? What is this? Okay, I shouldn't really be saying comments like that, but I'm not keen on it in the slightest. Well, it seems only the platinum really got a big kick out of me. Mind you, don't have as many to look at, so maybe that's half the problem. But still, I'm surprised only one of the holes really got me to go, yeah, I like that. Then again, this is my preference in design. So, yeah, I don't change much, do I? I really don't change much of it. I just don't have a vanity shield on. I have the beta hull. And, yeah. I just fly like this. Now, if you don't mind, I now need to go make sure I'm going to Tovokor. Since I've spent so much time insulting the Klingons, I think at the moment I'm definitely heading for Grenfor. With all this being said, I would love to know your opinions on this ship, guys. What do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? Is there anything you would change? What was your favourite vanity shield? I will not say any insulting parts I could possibly say right now that I would normally say at an end, just purely because I have been so stop-starty and choky. I do apologise for my throat today. Seems hay fever and another thing is getting to me at the moment. But I must say right now, a massive thank you to the patrons and donors of this channel. And hopefully, despite how awkward this video has been, hopefully I'll see you again. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and remember, fight with honor! Kapla. What are you guys doing? We need to go find some prey. Let's go!